And when you think of German cars, you think of luxury: Mercedes, BMW, Porsche, and Audi. Yet with tariffs taking effect, 25% on car imports, how will that impact both costs for new German cars and their maintenance? Joining us to discuss is Paul Fix III, automotive journalist with Car Coach Reports. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. Now, German cars, they have the reputation of being luxurious, high-performing, great steering, well-built, but having a higher total cost of ownership due to the parts and the labor than American and Asian counterparts. So now with another 25% tariff affecting their total cost of ownership, how do you see their sales being affected in the short term?
In the short term, and good morning, by the way,
Yeah.
in the short term, I don't see a lot of impact. See, these tariffs aren't actually impacting a lot of the cars that are on the lots right now. See, if a car is at a dealership, it's already sitting in a warehouse ready to be shipped. If you've already ordered a car, there will be no impact to you financially at all. But if you are ordering a car right now and you're not going to see it for a while, or if it's just arrived, or if you're looking towards a 2026 model or beyond, then you are going to see that 25% affect you. But I don't want to scare anybody, because that 25% isn't actually just a pure 25% increase on the value of your car. It's actually broken up because it depends on the individual parts and what percentage of the car was built in what country. So if there's a battery coming from China, then I think the current is 125%, though it keeps changing day to day. So that battery will be 125% more expensive. But let's say that the wheels come from Mexico. Well, then those might not be any more expensive because it's under USMCA. And so there's this moving target a lot with trying to figure out how much cars are going to cost. But for now, there is no increase in cost. So there's nothing to worry about on that front.
Got it. And of course, these cars have very loyal, brand loyal consumers, oftentimes, sticking with that for the third, fourth, fifth car, even within the same dealership. Now, as you mentioned, these parts within the car, they're coming from all over the world. I believe China is actually now up to 145% tariff. But a lot of the German production actually already happens in the U.S. So is it possible and feasible that these companies can quickly expand their production in the U.S. enough to avoid potentially losing that brand loyalty to U.S. and Asian, other options?
Yeah, this is a very serious issue for a lot of the German manufacturers. There is If you think luxury, you think German. You don't think of the Japanese companies or the American companies. They've completely cornered that market. So BMW already builds a lot of their vehicles here, and they're doing very well on that front. A lot of the other manufacturers are able to ramp up production in the US, but Volkswagen will actually have a lot of issues. Brands like Porsche, they don't produce a single vehicle here, nothing, not even the parts. So they have to eat the cost. And so they've already stated that they're going to increase their delivery cost, is what they put it under, by 6 to 7%. And Mercedes has said they're going to completely absorb the 25% tariffs. So there's some leeway for them to be able to adjust their margins to try to keep their customers. But there's always that fear. Are the negotiations done? Should we actually open a manufacturing facility in the US? A lot of the Korean and Japanese companies have already committed to either ramping up production or moving production to the US. Good example is the Honda Civic. They're moving over, and Hyundai is even building a steel plant here. But the German companies aren't moving as quickly. I think they're trying to find temporary stopgaps until they figure out what's going on, and then they'll make a decision.
Now, you mentioned Mercedes is going to fully eat the 25%. What about BMW, Volkswagen, their Audi line, and of course Porsche, which you said is going to assess some of the fee, but it sounds like they're going to eat some of the 25% as well. If you're a brand loyal to those particular manufacturers, what can you expect?
There has been no official statements that I've seen yet, but again, things are changing day to day. BMW, I think they're going to be okay because they produce here. Mercedes, they might be okay because of the 25, they're absorbing the whole cost. But Volkswagen, I think, is going to be in the most trouble here, especially because they are pushing heavily towards an all-electric future, which means that a lot of their batteries are coming from China. and they're not going to be able to do much about the increase in cost there. But as for the regular cars, and once again, remember that if it's on the lot right now, there's no increase in cost. But moving forward to the 2026 models coming at the latter half of this year, I think you are going to see an increase in costs from the anything under the Volkswagen umbrella. But when you're talking about a car like a Bentley, I don't think you're going to be so worried about a 25% increase, or a Porsche, a 7% increase might not hurt you all that bad. Most of the cars are very expensive in the first place, and the kinds of people that are going to buy them already understand that the vehicles are expensive. And so I think that they're going to keep most of the brand loyalty. I don't think that somebody's not going to buy an Audi because it's a little bit more expensive.
Now, when you look at, you said if you want to get a car that's on a lot, maybe now's the time to strike while the iron is hot. How does it affect the used car market?
Excellent question. So yes, absolutely. If you are buying a car and you want to buy new, now is the best time to go and buy. There are discounts and specials from almost every manufacturer. Ford is offering, for example, an employee discount on all of their models that are not their high performance models or their off-road models. So just keep that in mind. But I see the used car market having a resurgence right now. If new cars are going to become more expensive, people move to used cars. And we saw a very similar thing happen at the beginning of the pandemic a couple of years ago, where the market will shift back and forth. Now, right now, the used market's very soft on a general level. I watch a lot of the auctions and try to keep tabs on how collector cars are going, but usually the base used car market follows along those same lines. So I see that the used car market will have a bit of a resurgence. You might see some slight price increases, but definitely there's a lot of great used cars out there. The cars of the last couple of years, the last 10 years or so, the safety is incredible. The technology is incredible. The performance is much higher than it used to be. You can't really go wrong buying new or used. Just make sure that you make a smart choice depending on what your needs are.
And Paul, just in our last 15 seconds, you mentioned the Chinese batteries. Most electric car makers are getting those batteries from China, and there's a federal incentive to buy electric cars. When can we see the cost of electric vehicles going up, specifically the Tesla model, which is, I think the Y is now the most popular sold car in America at this moment?
Tesla is actually an interesting point just because they're all built in the USA. Obviously, they get some components from overseas. I don't know if I see a sizable increase in the cost of EVs, but you will definitely see an increase, especially from the German manufacturers, the Japanese manufacturers, et cetera. So do keep an eye out for that. But again, things are changing day to day.
Well, you heard it here. If you want a German car, strike now. Paul Fix III, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this, and check out our car review channel, Car Smarts. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee, and if you want even more content, check out the links in the description. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.